What is up, you guys? This is Dr. D, your college doc, coming to you with another video on video games and internet. And so, first I'm going to give you a little backstory, and then we're going to talk about some deep stuff. So let's dive right into it. Alright, so this is my fourth year without playing video games or extensive use of the internet. And so I'm in college now, and I feel like I've used my time pretty well, and I've been using it for developing myself. And as a result, I feel really confident that I overcame it. And I grew up with technology. I had GameCube, I had the Nintendo, I had an Xbox, I had PlayStation, I had Game Boy, you name it, and I had it. And so we're living in a society today where people are growing up with this type of stuff and with this type of technology, and I'm not going to say that that's the problem. I'm not going to say that I'm here to change your actions. I'm saying that we've been using it in the wrong way and using it too much, and that the way that we approach it, the way that we approach using technology seems to be an issue. There are 12 ducks over here. Wait, can you see these? Ah! Okay. So yeah, and so, alright, so what we're going to talk about now is how we can overcome this. What are the first steps we have to do? What do we need to do? How can we be more efficient with ourselves and feel good about it at the same time? Because we don't want to feel guilty in this process. We know that people who go on diets, they usually don't last very long because we have this sense of guilt. But we do need to have control of ourselves, and that's why we're going to talk about self-control. And, alright. First, we need to wean off of it, and so right now you could be doing it for 2 hours every once in a while. You could be doing it for 4 hours a week. You could be doing it for 6 hours a day, maybe even up to 12 hours a day. I used to be pretty extreme with this. I used to play long days, and I feel like it's becoming more of an issue today, and I'm seeing it around me, and it's not good. And I just wanted to raise this to you guys and give you my input on this. So it's essential to take, what's helped me along my journey is to reduce it, a little bit at a time, because it's a process. Like I said about the dopamine, whenever we're playing these games and going online, we're reinforcing our behavior, and we need to approach it in a different way. So what we can do is think of these activities as the wrong kind of stress relief. So there are two ways of relieving our stress, and that's with good ways and not so good ways. And these not so good ways are the ones we're talking about. The good ways are things like reading, writing, going running, which gives you which makes you feel really good, and is also really beneficial to our neurogenesis, and it actually builds neurons and it makes us smarter. So runners and pretty much any sort of body movements. If you're not a couch potato, you'll become superhuman. And these ducks are walking around me again. All right. So that's that. And also, with people with busy schedules and who need time to relax, I mentioned this in my other video about scheduling, and it's very important to set a time aside to relax and not use our brain so much, because our brain's like an engine. Any engineer knows that when you overheat the engine, things will go wrong. And so we need to take time off to relax. For me personally, I take time in midday after a long day, because I wake up anywhere between 4 and 7, depending, and usually 6 though. And around midday, your brain has been going on for your brain has been working hard for 5 hours, and at this point, it's essential to take a break, take a nap, to socialize, and that transitions to the next issue. So, internet and video games as a means of socializing. They should not be grouped together. You know why? Because our brains want to be social. Our brains, we are social creatures. We will find any way possible to relate with other people in our species, and even with other animals. Um, so it's really important to separate the two. And the only reason why I feel we're so attached to things like the internet and to video games is that it gives us a sense of community. Let me repeat that. Video games and internet is only so addicting because it gives us a sense of community. We're going on there, we're commenting on things, we're talking to other people, we're working together to get things done, which is great in theory, but it's all in another world. The internet is another world essentially, and we can use it as a tool in modern society, and actually promote this. And I encourage you to use the internet as a tool. But when it becomes a habit that's out of your control, that's considered an addiction in my book. So, and I'm not going to say to use it as a reward system of like going on there and like commenting and like playing video games for long hours. This is not what superhumans do. We know what we want to do here, like on this earth. We set a time to do it. We set a time to sleep, to do what we want to do, which we want to sleep. We love sleeping, and a time to relax. And ideally is to take your work schedule and to cut it in half, and then during that mid time is to take a break. I'd say for 20 to 30 minutes. And you can use this to do all the beneficial stress reducing activities that I mentioned. And also another thing is listening to music, and classical music all the way. And I kind of like house music too, and I feel like it's like a stress reliever, and it sort of like gives you a time to party midday. For me, I don't know. I'm just like I can just party like right now if I have my house music going, or I can relax and like do a meditation session and listen to classical music, or just listen to the birds, you know. And nature is another thing that we're going to talk about, which is a huge stress reliever, and it just brings us back into our natural environment, and it only makes sense. And so, to recap, we're going into video games and internet as a means of relieving stress when it actually is not relieving stress at all. And what's more beneficial is to take time off to do things that will increase our sense of fulfillment. And we can do this in various ways. We're all different. I'm not saying one way works or not, but you just need to have this mindset to not be so hooked on something that's unnatural, and to instead look for ways of connecting with other people. And so when next time you're on some sort of like technology that you find yourself it's like drawing you to it, instead of looking for entertainment, look for interaction. And I need to repeat this too and re-emphasize. So next time you see, or if you are a child, or I'm saying this if you're like between like 3 and 18, if you're anywhere between there and you find yourself on video games and internet or applications, this is amusement, this is entertainment. What you really want, what you really need is interaction. You want people. We want people. That's the only reason why we're going onto this technology. So next time you want to do that, just distract yourself, call a friend, go take a walk, go run, start doing things that reflect what you want to do in the future so that you can be more happy today. And understand this is also another thing. Understand that there's no difference between your future self and your present self in terms of mindset. If you think what you think you want to be like or what you want to have in the future, anything, you need to imagine that you can have it and then think about and like bring it about into the present and always make your actions reflect what you're thinking. And because your thoughts create things and it creates your actions and it creates your life. So know what you want to do in right now that'll make you better. That like so don't put off like that homework assignment. Don't put off the studying. Don't put off filing taxes. Don't start to do things that you know you have to do and don't feel overwhelmed about it. When you feel the need to go on internet or video games, just talk to your friends, call them up and go hang out somewhere and practice speaking to them and practice relating to them on a personal level. Maybe they're going through this and maybe you need to work with them. And this could be very beneficial. If you guys have the same mindset, you guys can get things done. And we're going to talk about that in other videos too. We're going to talk about like studying with people, and you have to have the same mindset or else things aren't going to work out. And that's the same with anything. If you're with people who reflect who you perceive yourself to be, you'll become more like them and they'll become more like you, and you guys will just work together to become better. And this is why we're starting this superhuman community, so that we can become superhuman together and we can comment and we could, but we're not to be addicted to this though. This is only a utility. This is a way for us to share our knowledge, for us to become our greatest versions, and for us to enjoy life, because we're not going to get out of here alive. So enjoy life right now. Do what you have to do right now. Take breaks, but take productive breaks, the good stress-relieving activities, the ones on this side, and just enjoy. And I highly encourage you to gradually wean off of and cut out video games and internet. Well, not internet, maybe like use a little bit of internet. Video games, cut it out of your life. You can use it sometimes actually, but only like once, like every once in a while. Like you shouldn't, like if you're bored, go like read a book. There are so many books out there that are amazing. I read a whole book today just on this topic, and I talked to friends about this. And the best way to overcome our sense of boredom is to distract ourselves with positive activities and ones that'll help us become our own version of our superhuman self. And that's all I can say on that. So stay well, stay awesome. This is Dr. D, your college doc. I'll talk to you next time.